Next up, we've got Jordan Peterson, lost in court.
Wait. I didn't know about this. What?
Jordan Peterson was ruled against in court. He has to go to social media training.
What? What is social media training? I've never heard of this.
I don't know. This is the first I've heard of it as well, but I just, like, when I saw that, I haven't really had I just saw this today. Like, it was first published 3 hours ago. I actually had to get this from the Wayback Machine because I found it on, it's from the Globe and Mail. And it was open when I was preparing for Twit Tweets. And then when I was just about to go live, like just before I connected to you and everything, I just checked that my articles were all set up properly and was like, oh, this one is now behind a paywall. I was like, so like this is a developing story, I guess.
Yeah. But
yeah, I didn't have time to like do the background research into it, and I don't think I highlighted anything in here anyway. It's not a big story, but
we can read the entire thing on this one probably.
Yeah,
it's only a few paragraphs.
So an Ontario court has ruled against a controversial psychologist, Jordan Peterson, Wednesday, upholding a regulatory body's order that he undergo social media training after several complaints about his online statements. The Ontario Divisional Court ruled that Dr. Peterson must complete a coaching program as prescribed by his professional regulatory college. So last November, the College of Psychologists of Ontario said in an online decision that Dr. Peterson would be required to complete a coaching program to address issues regarding professionalism in public statements. The decision was made by the college's Inquiries, Complaints and Reports Committee in response to complaints about statements Dr. Peterson made online. So this
he's going to use this as part of his persecution complex on Daily Wire, right?
He already is. He's already tweeting up a storm about this. I didn't pull any of those tweets because they're fairly boring for him. They're not as unhinged as he normally is. He didn't hit enter in weird random spots. Anyway, Dr. Peterson is a clinical psychologist and a professor emeritus of psychology at the University of Toronto who's become known around the world for a series of books, online lectures, and podcast. No, he became famous for opposing using correct pronouns for people.
The Bill C-16 debacle.
Yeah, that's what made him famous, and there's still a website that tracks how many people have been jailed for Bill C-16, and that number is still 0. But Peterson was very adamant that this is the beginning of the end. We're going to go to prison if we use the wrong pronouns. And
so what's funny is that, like, there's the fallout from him doing that, right? The fallout from that has been exactly what somebody like Peterson, who, you know, would then go on to be employed by the Daily Wire. It's exactly what you would expect someone like Peterson would want. I've had people come into my chat and then go, at least we're not like Canada, where people get fined for using the wrong pronouns. And
which
I'm like,
is not something that's ever happened.
I'm like, wait, when did that happen? When has that happened? And they're just like, no, it happens, bro. Trust me. And then I'll go on a 5-minute rant about Bill C-16 for a second. And they'll be like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, it's so weird when you say bullshit to somebody who actually knows about this. It's almost like we can smell your bullshit.
And I used to say that I think Peterson was smart enough that, like, it was clearly a grift. He knows that he's lying and everything. But, like, from his behavior on Twitter, I feel like I've changed my mind on this. He's just an idiot. I think he's an idiot who's good at using big words to sound smart.
I think there's like, when I think of somebody like Ben Shapiro, I think somebody who's smart enough to know he's bullshitting. But
I don't know. Like, the guy who said that you can sell your house when you're flooding. So you think he's intelligent?
Let me be clear. I think people like the Shapiros of the world, and even Ben Shapiro himself, started out smart enough to know they were doing a grift, and then at some point down the line, liked the smell of their own farts, and then started taking the bullshit that they were trying to sell.
Yeah.
And I think that happens to a lot of con artists.
Yeah. So Dr. Peterson has also become a well-known figure on Twitter, where he frequently posts... I like how they use Twitter without correcting it to X. This is a Today article. It was published today.
I'm very, very tired of a lot of the articles that I've been reading for stuff recently have had like Twitter X, the
X
platform formerly known as Twitter.
Yes.
Every single one I've read is like, I don't
just call it Twitter.
I'm just
X is
call
stupid.
it Twitter.
Nobody's gonna adopt X permanently. That's just stupid.
Nobody says repost. They all say retweet. Yeah. We all know what it is.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's become a well-known figure on Twitter, where he frequently posts anti-transgender content, climate change denial, and criticism of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. In social media posts, Dr. Peterson said he was informed that if he did not complete the training, he could lose his license to practice in Ontario. Good. Fucking good. A professional psychologist should not be out there posting conspiratorial bullshit. Like, Star Raptor Flock says, "Stop dead naming X." Yeah, I will stop dead naming. I will consider.
Star Raptor, you've been timed out of so many of my streams. It's okay to shut up.
Oh, is that actually? I thought that was a joke.
No.
Okay.
So it might be a joke.
They might just be a troll that's taken it too far.
I personally know Star Raptor.
Okay.
And I know, and they like shit stirring a lot.
Okay.
They're also a dick.
Okay, so what I was going to say is that, like, when Twitter adds dead naming back into the terms of service as a violation, then I'll consider not dead naming them. Because, like, at the moment, it's just free speech, right? Anyway. So yeah, no, he could lose his license to practice in Ontario if he doesn't do social media training. He disputed this decision, saying it infringed on his right to free expression and asked for judicial review with the Ontario Divisional Court. It's like, yeah, basically they're asking, like, could we just have a very, very low bar, basic level of professionalism in public if you are, like, advertising yourself as a psychologist?
Otherwise, like, because you end up looking bad in front of the rest of the bar. Yeah. You just look terrible.
It's like Rudy Giuliani still has freedom of speech. He can still say whatever he wants, but he can't be a lawyer and do it. Because he said stuff and did stuff that made him lose his license to practice law.
Yep, that's what we do. That's what we do when lawyers do stupid shit. And that's what we should do when people who call themselves professors do stupid shit.
Oh, and I fully support the idea of taking people's PhDs away when they do stuff like John, is it John Wells or John Wellington, the creationist who went to university specifically to get a PhD in biology so that he could use that PhD to then trash talk evolution.
Didn't Georgia do the exact same thing?
Georgia Prudhomme? I don't know if she was... I don't know her... I know John... I think it's Jonathan Wells. I think that's his name. Like, he is on record as saying that I went into my PhD specifically so that I could use my PhD to prove evolution wrong. Whereas, like, normally the AIG people... Like, Jonathan Wells is kind of bottom-of-the-barrel creationist who, like, not even AIG will touch. But like the AIG people at least try to put a patina of believability on it and be like, oh, well, I was not, like, they wouldn't necessarily say I was an atheist, but like, oh, I wasn't a, fully committed Christian or whatever, and I thought evolution might be a thing, and then I went to school and they tried to teach me all this evolution stuff. And they try to frame it that way. But yeah, no,
it's the liberal takeover of colleges.
Yeah, no, I feel that people like that who use their credentials specifically to undermine the very work that made their credentials possible, they should lose their credentials.
But because at that point we know that you earned it in bad faith.
Yeah,
we know that you...
Even if you didn't earn it in bad faith, you're not using it correctly anymore. You're using it as a decoration after your name in order to further an agenda that has nothing to do with it.
Because like we take away medical license, we disbar people from the bar. We have all kinds of institutions that will knock you out of their running because you do stupid stuff like this. So yeah, I think PhD program should definitely count on that.
I mean, it'd probably be like a whole lot of work to like actually keep track of these people, but
not really though. Think about it. You would have to do something profound enough and stupid enough that people would know about it. Like,
yeah, but that's the thing. We run in weird circles. Most people don't know who Dr. Georgia Prudhomme is.
I mean,
Most people don't know who Jonathan Wells is.
That's fair. We do kind of have a
Look,
atheist
okay,
YouTube is a niche.
So
I
replaced you with my partner last week, and it was a little bit awkward because there were so many things that because last week was a really big news week. I was like, I'm glad you got the care that you needed, but I was sad to not have you there because I specifically set up a bunch of things being like, ooh, I'm going to say this to Suris, and then he's going to be like, what? That person? and it didn't work with her because like I'd say Sidney Powell and she'd be like, who the fuck is Sidney Powell?
I'm sorry.
No, I know.
I'll never be in the hospital again.
I'm just pointing out that we run and we're... No, take care of yourself first. If you ever need to go to the hospital, I will figure something else out.
You covered her getting her getting booked in the fucking
No, I didn't. That was just today. Oh, you know what? We're probably missing out on viewers because the Republican debate started 15 minutes ago.
It's fine.
I actually considered turning this into a debate watch thing so we could like live comment on it, but I'm like, nah.
I'm gonna be honest. I used to love consuming debate content, but after a while, it started getting very, very. I don't like consuming debates anymore. I can do them as background.
Yeah, like I could listen to a debate while I'm like doing the dishes or something, but like I've got so many other things to listen to. Like right now I'm listening to Small Gods by Terry Pratchett, and then once that's done, I'll have a backlog of podcasts to listen to.
Yeah. And then my thing when I'm listening to debates is like I'm trying to keep a mental tally of everything person A has said, so when person B does their buttles, like, okay, did they address this? Did they address this? Wow, I'm getting exhausted, and I'm trying to passively listen to something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Small Gods is good. Anyway, so here the other issue here is he doxed the people that complained about him. It's like he posted about the case on Twitter, including documents given to him by the college that included identifying information of those who had made the complaints against him. So like that's a big old no-no.
I feel like that should be an
automatic.
That should like you don't get training anymore. Like you've automatically shown you've tipped your hand as to the way you're going to handle this from now on.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's posted like he's doubled down on this. He like one of his recent posts was like, I'm going to make this whole thing public because free speech. Rawr! It's like, okay, fine, make it public, but like there are certain things you don't make public. Like when you have a massive platform and your fanboys are going to be like piling on and harassing people that they think are giving you a hard time because they filed a legitimate complaint against you, like maybe don't publish their names and addresses.
Yeah.
That looks bad on you. That looks like you are sending your people after them.
J Bond Boy in my chat just went stochastic terrorism arc when?
No comment.
That is how you start stochastic terrorism. Oh, won't somebody rid me of this meddlesome heckler? Like that statement is one that's designed for that, and that's how that happens.
We know where Justice Thomas lives, just saying. Michael Decino says, first time catching you live, love what you both do. If you watch Rationality Rules, he does a good job deconstructing Jordan. I'm sure he does. I don't really watch him. I don't really watch anyone anymore.
That was a weird thing that I think that is just kind of the thing that happens with all of us. We make the kind of content that we do. The last thing we want to do is watch other people making the same kind of content that we do.
That's the thing is like I started my channel because there was a vacuum of like there were a bunch of atheists who made content like mine, and then they all moved on to other topics, and I was like, oh, there's a vacuum. Okay, I guess I'll fill it. I will make content. And so like I make the kind of content that I like to watch, but because I now am so inundated in making it, I'm like, I don't want to watch this anymore. I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah.
And sometimes like, okay, so last week I accidentally uploaded a video that the video portion of the video was just black. It was just blank. There was nothing there. It was just audio. And that happened because in the process of making my videos, and this was just like redoing a video that I had done before, so like it shouldn't have been as bad with this one, but like in my normal videos, in the process of making them, like, not only do I have to write down the words I'm going to say, I then have to say them, I then have to, like, watch myself say them, I then have to watch myself say them again. Sometimes there are issues where, like, if YouTube disagrees with me about whether or not it's ad suitable, I have to go and watch it again to find out what might have triggered the ad thing, because YouTube doesn't give you a timestamp for what was wrong with it for ads. It just is like, nope, we don't like this one. So you got to watch the whole thing again to figure it out. And so, like, by the time I've watched my video like 3 or 4 times, I'm like, I don't want to watch someone else making similar arguments to this. I'm done with this for now.
You also, there's always that little bit of paranoia that you're going to end up parroting something that somebody else said, and just
if I'm
saying it as well.
So if I'm responding to a video that I know other people have responded to, I will actively avoid watching whatever other response video. Like, there was one of those 10 questions for atheists videos that went semi-viral a couple of years ago, that, like, everybody did response videos answering those 10 questions. And I was late to the game with that one. And, like, by the time I got mine out, I think Zod had already done his. I don't think Paul did that one, but, like, there were like 3 or 4 other people that I, occasionally actually watch their videos that had done responses that was like, I'm not going to watch their responses so that I can come up with my own.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus. It's just, it feels weird too, because, like, I'll get people who come into chat and they're like, hey, did you see the most recent thing that Telltale did, or did you see the most recent thing that Paul did? I'm like, no. And it's not that there wasn't a time where I didn't used to watch every single upload. There was. And then these people went, and it includes you as well, like, everybody went from person I watch and look up to person I consider friend. And, like, when that shift happened, that was around the time that I just stopped consuming the content. It sounds counterintuitive, like, yes, we're good friends, now I'm no longer watching your shit.
Yeah, no, that happens.
But it's how it's been for just about every.
Well, I don't watch your shit because when I tune into your shit, I end up seeing you riding a rat chasing pizza around.
Hey, that's because look, Pizza Tower is one of the video games that exists. It is a game.
Oh, my stream probably missed that because that would have been before I hit the button.
Fair.
Okay, so that's basically all we need to cover for Jordan Peterson. So moving on.